Ahoy there, listeners, and welcome to another episode of the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammie, and I will be your captain on this journey. I'm joined, as always, by Jon Rambo himself.
Wow.
Our on-ship hard man and weapon specialist. Yeah, Jon. How you doing, Jon? That's a remarkable impersonation of Stallone there.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I'm going to take that shit on tour.
We are on a side mission tonight to discuss Rambo Last Blood, which both of us have just got out of the cinema from.
Yep.
We both went to see it, separate towns, separate cinemas, both went to see it, and we're out. You might be wondering, oh, hold on a second, this is the Captain's Horror Meltdown, and Rambo, is that not an action film?
Yeah,
I'm going to say that the levels of violence we're not just stuck to the horror genre. We did Down to Cross Concrete recently, but I would say the levels of violence in this film are so insane. It is extremely graphic, extremely fucking gruesome. And I can see why lots of people are offended. There's lots to be offended about in this film, I would say. But yeah, violence being one of those things, if you're offended by violence, which we're not. So we always, as you know, if you're regular listeners, then you'll know on these side missions, we always leave the boat to go and see these films that are just out. And we've had to split up on this one.
Oh my God.
Yep. You have gone off on a stallion.
Okay.
that you broke in on the ranch that is also on the boat. We've got a ranch on the boat, and your stallion swam to shore with you on its back.
Wow.
Quite strong swimmers, horses. And yeah, they are. Well, consider it weird with those tiny little thin legs. But anyway, and I have flown in over you on a Russian gunship.
Wow.
From Rambo 3.
Well, I think you got the better deal, because I don't like horses very much.
You don't like horses, and you're not great in the sea.
No, the first thing I tend to do when I visit France is I'll buy some horse to eat. Yeah. Well, just for the satisfaction of eating a horse.
Yeah. Well, a nice bit of tasty horse burger.
Yeah, it's very odd. People get very precious about horses when I just like to tell them I eat horse.
Eat horse.
As often as possible.
I have had, what's it called? Cheval, isn't it? Is it cheval? What's it called?
Yep.
Yep. So there you go. Well, don't eat this stallion, man.
I won't eat the stallion, that's fine, as long as it's stuck.
I'm not giving you a lift back to the boat on the.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay. It can carry me back to the boat, and then I'm going to shoot it in the head and grill it.
Right. You can rip its heart out.
Ooh, maybe. That does seem to be very topical way of death.
Yes, interesting. Right, so we're just gonna we'll just get into it. I mean, there's probably going to be some spoilers in this.
To be honest, it's even if you read nothing about this film, you will guess exactly what's going to happen all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to guess. It's just you just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What you hear the story, you know exactly how that's going to pan out. and so it happened.
Well, if you are interested in seeing it, you don't want to hear anything that might spoil it even remotely, then get yourself off to cinema. It's probably going to be there for a couple of weeks, I'd imagine. Although very few people in the screening tonight. Opening night.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same. Friday night here, 7:30.
Friday night, 10 to 8 screening. I'd say maybe 12 people in the cinema or something. That's
not bad in a way.
Yeah, I suppose. It was in the smallest screen in the cinema, and
because you were in Galashiels.
I was in Galashiels, yeah. So local cinema.
At any point, did you think you were just in a room with a massive open window out to the street?
Yeah, it did feel like that with the levels of violence that were going on. Yeah, totally. So yeah, well, talking about plot, I will do the usual synopsis. Very short, this one, again from Letterboxd. Rambo: Last Blood, 2019, directed by Adrian Grunberg. Don't know who Grunberg is. We can maybe delve into that a little bit later on. When his housekeeper's granddaughter is kidnapped, Rambo crosses the US-Mexican border to bring her home, but finds himself up against the full might of one of Mexico's most ruthless cartels.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, that's it.
Is that
it? Well, there's not really much else to tell, is there?
No, I think, it's it gets revengey.
This film is fucking... Well, I don't know if it's... I was thinking there, like, is it just that I'm getting older? You know when you're young and old folk could just bang on about how things are different these days. Nothing used to be as violent in my day, or everything just becomes more graphic. This film is insanely graphic.
Oh yeah,
insanely graphic.
Yeah,
it's wild. Anyway, before we get to that, plot wise, let's try and expand on the plot a little bit there, will we? What?
I guess.
What the fuck was going on? How was there any? I'm going to admit when I saw, I didn't really like I don't really like any of the Rambo films really very much. I really like the first one, First Blood. I think it's amazing.
Obviously,
the novel is amazing. I was never really a big fan of 2 and 3, as I got slated for when they came out earlier.
Yeah, I think I would have been back in the day. I mean, I haven't watched either of them for years and years, but I suspect I probably pirated a VHS at some point and watched it like 20 times or something.
First Blood was one of the... First Blood Part 2 was one of the earliest video VHS tapes that I saw, I think. I remember one of my pals at primary school, his older brother had a copy of Rambo First Blood Part 2. So I remember watching that around at our house after school, which was massively inappropriate. But anyway, that was back in the day, wasn't it? Well, it's quite normal for the VHS days. Friends of the podcast, Mitch, he also saw it tonight. He let us know in the group chat that the last time I was saying, it must be a decade since I last watched Parts 2 and 3. He said that it was, in fact, 11 years ago. 2008,
right.
And we watched all the three existing Rambo films in the lead in the run up to going to see
Rambo.
The fourth one. Rambo. I think it's just called Rambo. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually one of the first Blu-rays I bought. Was that?
Which was the experience of going to see that in the cinema was insane. Just lots of people about our generation going mental in the cinema, like openly drinking bottles of Buckfast. There's people dressed as Rambo. There's people stripped to the waist with like strings of bullets on. There's people with bandanas on, and the people just cheered the whole way through the film. I just remember the film being pretty offensive, and someone getting their head shot off with an anti-aircraft gun or something.
Yeah, I mean that's that descends into complete carnage, that film.
Yeah, absolute bobbins. And this film, I don't remember any of the plot or any of the way that the last film ended, but suddenly Rambo is at home on the ranch, down by the Mexican border, with his Mexican housekeeper and her granddaughter, and he is breaking in stallions. I mean, I spent a fair amount of time in the first half hour wondering if we were supposed to know what was going on, or what,
no, I don't think so,
or what the history was, and there seems to be no history at all. Who was she? Was the girl in its gran? Does the only way that Rambo knows that whole family because that's his housekeeper?
It's a really good question.
Who was her
I
mum?
couldn't connect any dots about that because I don't know.
Maybe
But
I'm missing something.
They seem to know him from. Well, certainly the housekeeper seemed to know him from when he kind of first left to join the army or something, or it's something that's hinted at.
Yeah, God.
But I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't get too bogged down in the finer details of the non-existing plot.
No, and I mean, this is a world where Mexico is just gangs.
Yeah,
like it's like a sort of like Casino Planet in Star Wars or something, an adult version of Star Wars. It's just like sinister. Everyone's drunk and partying and getting drugged, and I know there are massive problems with like cartels and violence and stuff in Mexico, but holy shit, that's all we see of Mexico there.
I think possibly having Mexicans as the bogeyman in this film was a slight misjudgment given the political climate.
Yeah, what's Stallone's political background?
I don't know.
Republican or Democrat? Who knows?
When Rambo came out,
it certainly feels pretty fucking Trump anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, like when the previous film came out, I'm sure that was politically dubious as well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I just don't get myself bogged down in that shit.
No.
It's not going to turn me, and it's not going to change.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no way I was reading that film in any way at all. I mean, I was watching that as a pure exploitation movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It really. I mean, you're there for when the violence kicks in. Really, if you're going to a Rambo film, and holy shit! I mean, it cranks up so fucking fast that it's fucking insane. When actually, so you've got this sort of like half-hour build-up. Then this sort of basically his surrogate daughter goes off to Mexico to confront her real dad. Shit starts going like pretty badly wrong almost straight away. He gets a phone call to say that shit's gone bad, and he just like literally jumps in his truck and fucking drives to Mexico. Like there's no, it's just like it's instant. He's suddenly in Mexico with a fucking massive knife, and he just starts just going fucking tonto.
I mean that initial knife attack is fucking unbelievable, it's brutal as fuck, and then. You're messing around with a collarbone? Oh, dearie me.
Aye. I mean, this is a film where, he literally is snapping people's bones out of their body. Holy shit.
Oh, absolutely
Jesus,
fabulous.
Man. And see, and when he takes a hell of a beating as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'll be honest, that first kind of round of violence, stuff came out of my mouth. Actually.
Properly. Here's one of those films
that doesn't happen to me that often, but I think in a way it almost desensitizes you to what comes afterwards.
Yeah,
because it's so just horrendous.
I would say that actually, but like when the final 20 minutes, by the time you get to that, you're so fucking jaded that you're just like, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, look, that guy's head exploded. Yep.
I will say that there's a bit, not one to give, too much away, really. I mean, like, as John said, I mean, there's not much to give away, but there's just a bit when you see, you quite clearly see a claw hammer in the background of one of the shots. And the minute I saw that, I was like, there's going to be, that hammer's going to come into play. And sure enough, like one scene later, there is some horrendous hammer deaths. I mean, really fucking gruesome hammer deaths. I mean, he's just fucking hammering people.
And it's just swift and brutal.
Hammer
to the balls.
Fucking hell! I mean, that's the thing. Like you go, it's It's so fucking fast as well, the whole film. It's just, what is it, 89 minutes? But I mean,
Yeah.
you've got this like pretty slow half-hour build-up, and then it's just insanity. I mean, you know, his daughter could be anywhere, and he just literally, you know, walks in, gets her out, and then it all just kicks off. I mean, holy shit.
That was it as well, because like I don't know, you know, where she wants to begin with, and then suddenly he just manages to rock up to another location, which happens to be the right location. It's like no one said, "Oh, that's where they take them" or something like that. It's just like he just fucking rocks up outside there and goes, "Oh, I'm looking for a girl," then goes fucking hammer mental.
Fucking hell, it is wild. Jesus Christ, man! I mind one of my pals used to DJ in a really shady pub in Glasgow called the Partick Tavern.
Oh, that sounds
It's not there anymore, but it's just one from 3 judges, and she said that she was like playing records one night, and this guy walked into the bar and hung his coat up on one of the coat hooks, and when he hung his coat up, he had a claw hammer in the inside pocket.
What?
Yes.
Oh
fucking claw hammer in the pub, just in case. Just in case any nails needed, you know, hammered, something like that. Jesus.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and I mean, then basically we then fucking, you know, head on at full steam ahead into him.
Relentless pace.
Basically, the end of the film is basically like an episode of like one of the Saw movies.
Yeah, I'd see that referenced in a review.
Oh, was it? Yeah, Jesus. I mean, he booby traps the shit out of that house.
He really does.
He uses all these.
If you can imagine like the sort of booby trapping he does in First Blood, times that by 900, and you're still nowhere near what's going on here.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane.
Some
wild. amazing. It's, you know, I quite like that because it's quite, you know, it's inventive to the point of being completely ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like a sort of like like an 18 rated A-Team or something like that. It's like one of those scenes it's like one of those scenes when like the A-Team are locked inside a barn and they just start making shit. You know, they're in a barn that's full of tools, a van, and a set of welding gear. Like,
before you know it.
And I mean, so Rambo lives on a ranch near Mexico.
Yeah,
near Mexico that the Mexican border is a barbed wire fence that says no entry, and he just drives through it in his van.
Yeah, because obviously I think at that point I think he couldn't go through the official border check with what was happening.
Yeah,
but he just arrives at this sort of just like a couple of fences saying, "Oop, U.S. border, don't come through here." Ooh, drive straight
through. Boom. And he's on this ranch that's just over the border in America, and his pastimes, aside from breaking horses, seems to be digging tunnels.
Yeah, hell of a tunnel's going on.
It's never really explained either, but presumably it's is it for survival? Is it because it reminds him of Vietnam?
It's never explained. I think we just have to we just accept for what it is. I mean, you know,
he's quite proud of tunnels as well, isn't he?
He is. Well, that's it. He's like the granddaughter in question has her. He says, "Oh, get your friends over. They can check out the tunnels." Like it's a big thing.
Yeah, totally.
But I just couldn't help. It's just the nagging things with that film. It's just like, how long did that take? One guy doing that. And we're talking some serious tunneling here.
Oh, it must have taken him fucking ages.
Like years.
Oh, years and years and years.
I mean, if you want to know what's happened between the last Rambo film and this one, it's him digging tunnels. That's all that's happened. Because it will have taken him that many years to do it.
11 years. I mean, if he was working constantly every day, he might have got that many tunnels dug in 11 years. Jesus. Fucking hell. He's some laddie, that Rambo, isn't he?
He is. He's like a wee mole.
Fucking
well,
hell.
a big mole.
A big mole, yeah.
Big violent mole with a knife.
And I mean, well, I think what we've got to address here is that Stallone is 73 now. And
is that how old he is? Okay.
He looks insane. He looks
does.
Absolutely insane. I just was like staring at his face. Every time there was a close up of his face, I was like, what? It's
incredible.
It's wild. And the film ends, like the end credits plays a sort of like highlight reels from all the other films, starting with First Blood, then First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and to see how he's changed is unbelievable. I mean, I know, like, obviously we all get old, but wow, he looks insane.
It's a huge change, and as we were talking before we came on, that credit sequence is so weird. It's like the film finishes and then the credits start rolling, and then there's like little scenes from each of the films leading up to that point. And then it's like, okay, fair enough. And then they start playing you scenes from the film you've just fucking watched. It's like, what is going on here? Like, I forgot what happened like 2 seconds ago. Oh, it's okay, you got a little recap during the credits in case you missed anything. I was like, it's just so odd. I mean, who greenlit that idea? It's fucking terrible.
Oh God, it's wild. Kept me in my seat though, and I did. Although I did stick around for the end credits just to see my pal Henry, who I work with. Who was on the special effects team over there, doing pyrotechnics. He was one of the senior pyro guys
Cool.
over in Bulgaria, because the film was shot in Bulgaria.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
There you go. Yep. That's how they save money on these big films. Shit, in Bulgaria. Yeah. I mean, I guess it was probably a couple of days worth of like filming, second unit filming in Mexico, probably. But yeah, and if you look at the names in the end credits, like all the characters, like all the actors and actresses that played the sort of like Mexican characters all have Eastern European names as well. So
I did not stick around to watch that, but interesting.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when I first started back on Outlander this at the start of the year, I was chatting to Henry. Yeah, he showed me like some. He started off by telling me he'd been over in Bulgaria doing Last Blood, and told me how mental it was. They showed me some footage that they had they'd taken on set, and it's just wild. I mean, actually, like I'm gonna have to bring up with them. Actually, quite a lot of the footage he showed me was shot at night. Actually, and there was no night stuff in that at all in the ranch. So
that's true. Yeah,
I wonder. Yeah, interesting. Noticing here that it says on the letterbox page that the film was 101 minutes long. I think it's 89 minutes long. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Although I did finish a little bit later than my screening said, but not by that amount.
No.
But whatever it is, it does fucking zip by. And let's talk about the reviews that are kicking around.
We've got to talk about it. I mean, this film is getting some absolute fucking stinkers of reviews,
like across the board, honking reviews.
But I mean, this film wasn't made to be getting good reviews. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I mean, this is like the equivalent of like Death Wish 2 or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Death Wish 3, or do you know? It's just like it's just like pack them in, like show them what they want. They want some fucking like ultra violence, really, don't they?
They want, people want to see Rambo going fucking mental. And I tell you what, you pay your £6 and that's exactly what you fucking get. You get Rambo going absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
Completely apeshit.
Mental.
But it's very, I'm going to say though, like, I find the character of Rambo quite weird in this, because he's very like Rocky at the start of the film.
Yeah.
Got a real vibe of the sort of Rocky, around the sort of Creed film sort of times.
Sort of like quite philosophical, like.
Yeah, well, just like, and just these mannerisms and the way he looks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know Rambo isn't a Stallone character.
Yeah.
Well, obviously played by Stallone, but he didn't bring it. He didn't invent the character.
No.
Obviously. But yes, I thought that was quite weird. So I felt like I was just watching Sylvester Stallone, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel I was watching Rambo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even in the last film, he was very kind of Rambo. It was like there was a definite character about it. But this one was maybe his years in the ranch had mellowed him out. And,
maybe they have.
He's had some people to care about. Maybe that was it. Again, never explained. But hey ho.
Yeah.
But yes, universally stinking reviews.
Absolutely panned. In fact, what does it say? Yeah, in fact, what does it say? I mean, the Peter Bradshaw's review in The Guardian was quite a number, quite fun to read. Although he gives it 1 star, but doesn't really actually slate it that badly. And I mean,
yeah.
It's just quite interesting. I mean, the thing is, it's not like it is a well-made film or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
I'll hold my hands up to that. It's not a well-made film. It's not nice to look at.
It's not.
It is clunkily directed. It is quite badly acted. The score is non-existent to shit.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, if you've got you get out your sort of broad strokes, your massive paintbrush for like just sort of stereotypical characters. You've got them all in here, really, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Get them all in here. Right, let's see what we've got. Rambo: Last Blood. 30%. Stinker.
Is that on Rotten
Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Audience score 83%.
Yes, that's what I fucking love about Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, how often do the critic and audience scores meet? Never, absolutely fucking never.
There's a brilliant one when they top reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. An unwatchable piece of excrement. There you go. I mean, that's interesting. There's another review that starts off by saying, I don't know why I had high hopes for Rambo: Last Blood. And do you know what? If you're a film critic, why did you have high hopes for Rambo: Last Blood? None of the films have been good since the first one.
Well, they've certainly not been high art, let's be honest.
They might have been enjoyable. They were not good fucking films. That's the thing, is it? Do you know what I mean? Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I was flicking through some of the. I quite like Rotten Tomatoes for the little snippets of reviews that you get, and yeah, I was just going through some of those last night. They're just absolutely brilliant.
I mean, there's an interesting little snippet there as well from someone saying, it does something worse than just insult the audience. It insults Rambo, and I guess it kind of does. In that, he's just. It's just a sort of like. It's just straight up revenge movie, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Rambo 5 is more a generic late night revenge action flick than satisfying end from what started out as a complex character. I can't argue with that.
I mean, there's no character here at all, really, is there? Really. I mean, it's
no
fucking. Oh. I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, really, is anyone going into this expecting it to be good?
No,
I mean, actually, that's not to say it's not enjoyable.
You're going in. I went in there. I was like, I want to A, be entertained.
Yeah.
B, I want close-ups of his mad face.
Yes,
plenty of those.
Loads of close-ups of his face.
C, I want a man to get his still beating heart ripped out of his chest, and holy shit, it even delivered on that.
Yeah, fucking right. I did notice it. I can't remember. It might have been the Guardian review. It might not have been. Might have been someone on. Might have been on someone on Letterboxd or anything. But someone was saying they were talking about the whole Mexican thing and all the rest. The stereotypes and blah blah blah. And then they'd said that there's probably Mexican cartel torture videos that are less violent than Rambo.
That would say that's a fair comment.
Gold.
Yeah, if you want carnage, you've come to the right place.
If you want someone,
that's why we're doing this, because
if you want someone to be
we
pinned,
like carnage.
If you want someone to be pinned to a wall with 4 arrows, so they're still alive, and then have their still beating heart ripped out their chest. For no, like, you know, in a deadly serious way. Like, they're not playing that for laughs or anything like that. Or, you know, I mean, just like in like this character thinks this is a reasonable thing to do. Then yeah, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, slip your shoes off, get into some comfortable pants, and absolutely, fucking right.
Get yourself ready.
And you know, I do. I just really enjoy the end bit as well. I just love it's massively over the top.
Oh, it's utterly ridiculous. I mean,
really bizarre mix of digital effects and physical stuff.
Practically, yeah, but
But the things the shots are so brief that I didn't really mind the digital stuff. Didn't linger too much. It was just like it was swift, brutal, bang, next, move on to the next death, bang, 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 bang. And it's like we don't have time for one death. Kill 3 people at the same time. Yes. And it's a really fantastic one one of the booby traps they set up, and like 2 guys fall through the floor onto like a bed of spikes.
It's like something from an old Tarzan movie.
Totally, man. They fall, but the thing is, they fall in there, and I would say both of them have probably been penetrated by at least half a dozen to maybe 10 spikes each.
Yeah.
But Rambo still feels the need to come over there and spray them with bullets.
Totally.
Causing bits to fly off.
I think both of them actually have like full metal rebar spikes through the head.
Through their head, yeah.
And he still opens fire on them with a machine gun.
That's fucking amazing.
Insane. I particularly like the magnesium shotgun shells that he made.
Oh, that was great.
Like,
yeah.
Massive purple fire and like just set the guys on fire. Wild. Absolutely wild.
You know what? It just gives me so much joy to be able to go and see that in a multiplex.
It's bizarre, isn't it, man? I mean,
it's incredible. If you didn't have the Rambo name behind that, you fucking wouldn't see that anywhere near a cinema.
No, I mean, the thing as well that I know we don't do it for the side missions. But in the sort of main episodes, we always ask, what would James Furman think? It's absolutely inconceivable that this film would have been released without at least 5 minutes cut from it. At least, to the point of making it just like nonsensical.
But incomprehensible. I just
you
know what?
I think
it's just
gibberish. You'd see people fall down holes and then you wouldn't see what happened. It'd just be all over the shot. I mean, it's actually pretty wild that we've got to a stage where that is like mainstream cinema entertainment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
you're
fucking
totally right.
extreme. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's gory. It's gorier than some of the old Fulci movies and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, when was the last time you saw anything like that in the cinema? I'm struggling to think.
Even going to a dedicated horror film, you don't see shit like that.
Exactly. And that's why we're bringing it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in some of the production meetings when they were like, no, we actually want you to rip this guy's heart out and then hold it up.
Or I was like,
do you think snap his collarbone out and fucking what?
Or maybe Stallone sitting in the meeting goes like, hang on, wait.
He's 73, man. Can you imagine?
It's incredible.
What? 73-year-old sitting there going, yeah, no bother, yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, no.
In fact, why don't maybe it's him? It's like, why don't I reach into his chest and pull out his still beating heart? And they're like, amazing, fucking amazing. Let's use that. But I tell you, one of the things I did really enjoy was Rambo getting the shit kicked out of him.
He took a total beating, didn't he?
Took a real hammering.
And really heavy special effects afterwards as well, like sort of makeup effects. He got a hell of a shiner, didn't he?
Yeah, I quite like that because because there was like a lot of folk descending on him.
What was going on with that character as well, though? That journalist character. I mean, what? Like, I mean,
like it's a shonky plot device, that isn't it?
Holy! I know the minute he walked into the nightclub on that mission to find the guy, and he stood over in the corner, and you saw her. I was like, "Oh, here we go, love interest." I think at least they didn't go down the love interest route, but Jesus, what man. Yeah, what? Woo! And I was reading earlier on that Sloan saying that if the film does well, that he's open to doing another one.
Oh, really? Well, the end of the film didn't suggest that.
No, it didn't. No, not at all. No.
Oh well, fair enough.
Well, he's still alive. I mean, if he'd gone with the actual original novel, then he'd have been dead after the first one.
Well, there you go. Many, many, many hundreds of millions would have been lost to the film industry.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually love to. I mean, I know that people are generally not down with remakes or anything like that, but I'd love to see like a modern adaptation of the original novel that's more faithful to the actual novel. I mean, you can still do it, but you can do it with a vet from any of the sort of bullshit wars that everyone's been involved in since. But like, yeah, I mean, you could do it as a retro piece back then, or you could do it now. But I mean, it'd be very interesting to see it done well. I mean, it's a great novel. I'd recommend it to anyone that's capable of reading. Yeah.
So that's no use to any of our listeners.
Yeah. There's probably an audiobook available on Audible or something.
That's why they have to listen to us, because they can't read.
Right.
I don't mean that, guys.
No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. Are we going to rate it? I mean, I can almost flash forward to the inevitable day that this falls through my letterbox and I've drunkenly bought it on Blu-ray or something like that. It's a bad film.
It's not well made. It looks pretty cheap. There was some weird shit going on my screen.
There's some weird shit going on my screen as well.
Right. Tell you, what's to do with faces and weird colours?
Yeah.
Right. So that must be a problem with the film then.
Yeah. And I've started to think I'm losing my mind as well, because I was watching Mindhunter season 2 recently on Netflix, and there's real problems with characters' makeup in that, whether they've got really yellow faces.
Right.
And I wonder if it's a similar thing. I wonder if it's a sort of lighting thing, or a sort of lighting makeup clash, or I don't know.
For me, I was getting... Sorry to bore everyone with this, but it'd be interesting to see if everyone saw the same. For me, I thought, maybe there's a problem with the projector or something, whatever's going on. But I was getting... Certainly when he was driving back from his first excursion from Mexico, and it's at night, but you've still got like quite clear skin tones from maybe the nose up, and then below is this like weird blue digital fucking bizarreness.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it was quite dark and blue there, but the thing I really noticed with that whole scene was that usually car scenes are quite obviously lit. You know, they're usually lit from above the, from the sun visor.
Mm-hmm.
They usually put strip lights there, so you get this quite unnatural light in the car. But it didn't seem to be like that in that. But it was kind of like very dark. It's usually a lot lighter inside car shots, but it did seem very dark. Yeah.
Anyway,
anyway. Well, we'll see.
As a thumb rating, I'm going to give it a thumb up.
You're going to give it a thumb up?
I am.
You can give one thumb up. I would say that as
delivered what I wanted it to deliver.
I would say if you're an exploitation fan, you're into your revenge movies, you're into your old Rolling Thunders, you're into your old Death Wishes or whatever, your old exploitation numbers, and you like a bit of just sort of violent revenge, then you're probably going to like this.
Yep.
You're probably also not really going to give a shit who the bad guys are. They could be anybody. whatever. It's just, but do you think they were trying to be on the nose, having it with Mexicans with Trump and the whole fucking? Who knows?
I
don't want to read too much into it. I mean, at the
end of the day, it's not like Stallone wrote the script.
No.
And let's be honest, throughout history, Mexicans have been a pretty easy target.
Yeah.
I think in this current climate, probably ill-advised, but let's be honest, it's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Stallone has supported several Republican politicians, but says he's not a member of the Republican Party.
Okay. Oh well. Whatever.
There you go.
I really don't give a fuck about anyone's personal politics because it won't influence me watching something like this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say if, like, in exploitation, like, film terms, then, yeah, it's going to get a thumbs up from me. In, like, is it a good film terms? No, it's not a good film. No. Did I enjoy it in the cinema? Yes. Would I enjoy watching it with a bunch of people sitting around after 4 cans of export? Probably. It's kind of one of those films, though. It's just, you feel a bit grubby, though, as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's got a little bit of grubbiness.
I like that.
Yeah,
Though.
I know you do.
You know what? Oh, come on, you like it as well.
I know. God.
It's nice to feel a bit desperate sometimes.
Yes.
It's you know what I mean. You're just sitting there going, "Oh, this is just filth," but I love it.
I would say that if you're, it's I mean, it's Bobbins, really, isn't it? But yeah. So there you go. Well, I think it's time.
I think to sum it up, we enjoyed it, but we're not expecting it to do anything at the Oscars.
No, we're absolutely not. In fact, judging by the amount of people that went to see it in the cinema tonight, I don't know how many weeks it'll be in the cinema.
No, I think I'm predicting a week of full screenings and then down to late nights.
Yeah, I think it'll be late nights pretty quick. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh. Yeah, it's fair enough when it,
yeah,
it's your general audience, late nights.
Aye, totally.
You know what? It'll at least triple its money, so he gives a fuck.
Yeah, it will do.
All
yeah,
good.
No doubt. Yeah,
totally.
So yeah, we better get back to the ship. I think we're going to have to. We've probably got a couple of other side missions coming up as well, don't we? But we will get back to the way I'm looking at
this, we have a side mission after this for definite, which I know that because we just recorded
it. Yeah. We then probably have another side mission next week.
Yeah, so whether that'll actually come out before the side mission we just recorded, I don't know.
Who knows?
Will.
It might do.
It might do. But yeah, and then after that, I think we can get back on the chain quite safely.
Yeah, we're going to get back to the chain. It's going to be a fun one as well. It's going to be it's going to be
a nice little episode followed by, I think, hopefully another chain one, which still threatening the double episode. Yes,
double episode. Well, of which one of them I own one already, another one has dispatched. So that's
lovely.
Great. Yep.
Lovely.
Should be here on Tuesday. Well, you better go and saddle that stallion up and get swimming. I'm going to go and get the rotors fired up on the gunship and get back to the boat.
Excellent. Well, when you obviously get back before me, so fire up the grill and I'll shoot the horse in the head and we can chow on down.
We'll get some steaks on the go. Some cheval steaks. Nice.
Perfect.
Lovely. All right, well, that's all from us, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the next Captain's Horror Meltdown. Cheerio.
Whatever it is. Cheers.